deep within the murky depths of the Pacific Ocean, there existed a creature not like any other. It was said to be the very embodiment of terror and death, a demon of the deep that struck fear into the hearts of all who encountered it. Many sailors and fishermen had claimed to have seen the creature, but few had lived to tell the tale. They spoke of a monstrous shark that was as large as a submarine, with teeth as long as a man's arm, and eyes that glowed with a malevolent intelligence. The legend of the demon shark had been passed down through the generations, but it wasn't until a group of researchers stumbled upon it during an expedition that the world truly learned of its existence. The researchers were in the midst of a deep-sea exploration when they first caught a glimpse of the demon shark. It was swimming in the distance, its massive body cutting through the water with ease. As they approached, they could see the creature more clearly. Its skin was a sick shade of green, and its eyes glowed with an otherworldly light. The researchers knew that they had to capture the creature to study it and learn more about its strange physiology. But as they attempted to trap the demon shark, they realized that it was not like any other creature they had encountered before. It was smart, cunning, and unbelievably powerful. And as it broke free from its restraints, it let out a deafening roar of rage. The demon shark attacked the researchers with a rage that was almost supernatural. Its jaws snapped shut with incredible force, crushing bones and tearing flesh. The researchers fought back with all their might, but they were no match for the demon shark's strength and savagery. In the end, only one researcher survived the encounter with the demon shark. He was badly injured, traumatized by what he had witnessed, but he knew that he had to warn the world of the creature's existence to prevent others from falling victim to its terrible power. And so, the legend of the demon shark continued to spread, a cautionary tale of the dangers that lurked in the deepest, darkest parts of the ocean. For the demon shark was a creature unlike any other, a true embodiment of terror and death that struck fear into the hearts of all who encountered it. Despite the researchers' warnings, many refused to believe that such a creature could exist. But as more reports of strange shark attacks began to emerge, the reality of the demon shark's existence became harder and harder to ignore. Fishing boats that ventured too far out to sea were often attacked and sunk by the demon shark, leaving no survivors. Swimmers and surfers who ventured too close to the shore were dragged under the waves, never to be seen again. The demon shark seemed to be everywhere, lurking in the shadows, waiting for its next victim, and no one knew how to stop it. Scientists and researchers around the world studied every piece of data they could gather on the creature, hoping to find a weakness, a vulnerability that they could exploit. But the demon shark was too smart, too powerful, too demonic. Rumors began to circulate that the demon shark was not just a natural predator, but a creature of supernatural origin. Some said it was a cursed soul that had taken the form of a shark, others that it was a demonic entity that had been summoned from the depths by dark forces. Whatever its origin, the demon shark was a force to be reckoned with, and it seemed as though nothing could stop it. But then, a group of brave divers set out on a mission to confront the demon shark and put an end to its reign of terror once and for all. Armed with only their wits and their courage, the divers plunged into the dark waters of the Pacific, determined to face the demon shark head-on. As they descended deeper and deeper, the waters grew colder and darker, and the pressure began to mount. But the divers pushed on, driven by their determination to save the innocent lives that were threatened by the demon shark's presence. And then they saw it. A massive shadow lurking in the distance, growing larger and larger as it approached. The demon shark had arrived. The divers were ready, though. They had planned their attack carefully, studying the demon shark's behavior and movements, hoping to find a weakness. As the creature approached, jaws open wide, the divers sprang into action. They swam around the demon shark, dodging its attacks and striking it with their spears. The demon shark fought back with all its might, but the divers were relentless. They continued to strike and dodge, until finally, the demon shark let out a deafening roar of defeat. It sank to the bottom of the ocean, defeated and vanquished. The legend of the demon shark lived on, but now it was a legend of bravery and heroism. The divers who had faced the creature had become heroes, celebrated around the world for their courage in the face of danger. And the demon shark, it was never seen again, but some say that it still lurks in the depths of the Pacific, waiting for its next chance to strike. But the divers had not gone unscathed. The battle with the demon shark had taken its toll, and all of them had suffered injuries, some of them severe. As they made their way back to the surface, they knew that they had accomplished something extraordinary, but they also knew that their lives would never be the same again. For years after that fateful day, the divers were haunted by nightmares of the demon shark, reliving the battle over and over again in their minds. Some of them even became obsessed with the creature, studying everything they could find about sharks in the ocean, hoping to understand the demon shark's motivations and secrets. But no matter how much they learned, they could never shake the feeling that they had only scratched the surface of something much deeper and darker. Years passed, and the divers went their separate ways, but the memory of the demon shark remained with them always, a constant reminder of the darkness that lurked beneath the surface of the ocean. And then, one day, a new report emerged. A fishing boat had been attacked and sunk by a massive shark, one that seemed almost supernatural in its size and power. The divers knew what they had to do. They gathered once again, determined to face the demon shark once more and put an end to its reign of terror for good. As they descended into the depths, they could feel the weight of their past and their fears bearing down on them, but they pushed on, determined to finish what they had started. And then they saw it. The demon shark, larger and more terrifying than ever before, looming in the distance. The divers were ready this time, though. They had prepared for years, owning their skills and studying every piece of data they could find on the creature. They attacked the demon shark with renewed vigor, striking it with their spears and dodging its attacks. But the demon shark was more powerful than ever, and it fought back with a ferocity that seemed almost inhuman. The battle raged on for what felt like hours, until finally, the demon shark let out a deafening roar and disappeared into the depths. The divers knew that the battle was far from over, but they also knew that they had won a crucial victory. The demon shark had been wounded, and they had learned more about its behavior and weaknesses than ever before. And so, they returned to the surface, ready to continue their fight against the demon of the deep, a terrifying force that lurked beneath the surface of the ocean, waiting to strike at any moment. The divers knew that they could not rest until the demon shark was destroyed for good. They gathered their resources, recruited new members to their team, and set out on a mission to hunt down the beast. But as they delved deeper into their investigation, they began to uncover something even more sinister than they could have ever imagined. The demon shark was not alone. There were other creatures lurking in the dark depths, waiting for their chance to strike. The divers knew that they were in over their heads, but they refused to give up. They had come too far, sacrificed too much, to turn back now. As they prepared for their next encounter with the demon shark, they knew that they were facing their greatest challenge yet. The creature had grown even more powerful, and it was not alone. It had allies, creatures that were even more terrifying than itself. The divers descended into the depths once more, their hearts pounding with fear and adrenaline. They knew that this battle would determine the fate of the ocean, and possibly the entire world. The battle was fierce, and the divers fought with everything they had. But the demon shark was stronger than ever, and it seemed like the divers were fighting a losing battle. Just when it seemed like all hope was lost, a strange light began to glow in the distance. The divers couldn't believe their eyes. It was a group of creatures, unlike anything they had ever seen before. They were beautiful and ethereal, with long flowing fins and an otherworldly glow. The creatures descended upon the demon shark, their movements swift and precise. The divers watched in awe as the creatures battled the demon shark, tearing it apart with ease. When the battle was over, the divers realized that they had just witnessed something incredible. The creatures that had saved them were not just any creatures, they were guardians of the ocean, protectors of all life within it. The divers knew that they had to share their story, to let the world know that there was hope for the ocean, and that there were creatures out there fighting to keep it safe. And so, they returned to the surface, their mission complete. The demon shark was no more, and they had witnessed something truly extraordinary. From that day on, the divers dedicated their lives to protecting the ocean and its inhabitants, fighting to ensure that the creatures that had saved them could continue to thrive and protect the world they called home. The divers knew that they could not do this alone, and so they began to reach out to others who shared their passion for the ocean. They formed alliances with scientists, conservationists, and activists, working together to educate the world about the importance importance of ocean conservation. Through their efforts, they were able to change the hearts and minds of many, inspiring people to take action and make a difference. They organized beach cleanups, lobbied for stricter regulations on fishing and pollution, and worked to create more protected areas for marine life. Their efforts did not go unnoticed, and they began to receive recognition and support from all over the world. They were invited to speak at conferences, featured in documentaries, and even honored with awards for their work. But despite all their successes, they knew that there was still so much more to be done. The ocean was still under threat, and the guardians who protected it needed all the help they could get. And so, the divers continued their mission, diving deeper into the ocean and exploring its mysteries, all while fighting to protect the creatures that called it home. They knew that their fight would never truly be over, but they were determined to never give up. For as long as there were creatures in the ocean, they would be there to protect them, to fight for their survival, and to ensure that the ocean remained a vibrant and beautiful place for generations to come. And as they descended into the depths once more, they knew that they were not alone. The guardians of the ocean were with them, watching over them, and guiding them on their journey, and with their help, they knew that they could accomplish anything. As the divers continued their mission, they encountered many other creatures of the deep, each with their own unique beauty and power. Some were friendly and curious, while others were more elusive and mysterious. But there were still those that posed a threat, creatures like the demon shark that had once terrorized the ocean. The divers knew that they had to remain vigilant, always on the lookout for any signs of danger, and so they continued to explore the ocean, mapping out its many hidden secrets and documenting the creatures that called it home. They worked tirelessly to gather information, to better understand the delicate balance of the ecosystem, and to identify ways to protect it. Their efforts paid off, and slowly but surely they began to see positive changes in the ocean. More people were becoming aware of the threats facing the ocean and were taking action to protect it. New laws were being passed, and more protected areas were being established. As the years passed, the divers continued their mission, their passion for the ocean never wavering. They became known as the guardians of the deep, and their work inspired a new generation of ocean protectors. And in the end, it was their dedication and hard work that helped to ensure the survival of the creatures of the ocean and the preservation of this magical, mysterious world for generations to come. As the divers surfaced, after a particularly long and grueling dive, they looked out at the vast expanse of the ocean and felt a deep sense of pride and satisfaction. They knew that their work was far from over, but they also knew that they had made a difference. And as they prepared to dive back into the depths once more, they smiled, knowing that they were not alone. The guardians of the ocean were with them, watching over them and guiding them on their journey, and with their help, they knew that they could accomplish anything. Thank you to my superfans, Sweet Black Swan, Tacy, and Brooklyn. I really appreciate you guys supporting my channel, and I look forward to making more content for everyone.